Alright, so in this video we're going to be starting with three-figure bearings. Three-figure bearings, of course. The three-figure part of the name comes from the fact that the angle you use always has three different digits. So even if the thing is not up to 3 digits, it is still going to be written as 3 different digits, okay? So for example, you would have something like 0, 0, 0 degrees. You could have something like 0, 0, 8 degrees. You could have something like 0, 1, 0 degrees, or 0, 70 degrees. Ideally, you could easily write this as just 70 degrees, of course. But in three-figure bearings, you don't do that. You have to write it as three figures. And of course, this is going to continue until you start getting into actual three figures like 100 degrees, of course, 180 degrees, and of course, the last one, 360 degrees. And there is something very interesting about three-figure bearings. Okay, let's wipe this off a little bit. Something very interesting about three-figure bearings is that you always focus on north direction. North direction. That is the focal point. You always have to focus on that. Your north is very, very important in three-figure bearing. And in fact, it's so important that that is the only direction in the compass that is indicated in any diagram of three-figure bearing. Now, you can see there's no indication of east, west, or south. Only north is indicated. And that is because any sort of measurement of angles in three-figure bearing always starts from north. So that is the starting point. That is your origin. That is where you begin from. Always begin from the north. And the north is also referred to as 0 degrees. So your north is basically the same thing as what? As your 0 degrees. So you could write it as 0, 0, 0 degrees. But at the same time, if you start from north, you keep increasing the angles. Gradually, you get to 40 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees. You keep moving, see? You keep moving on and on and on and on, and you get back here. Eventually, you're going to get back to that 0 degrees. But the point where it gets back to 0 degrees is also the point of what? Of 360 degrees. So your north is both 0, 0 degrees and 360 degrees. So you could use either one that you feel like using at any point. Or you could easily just write north there, depending on the situation. So now, let's erase that, okay? Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that so we can solve something interesting. So let's get down to solving this very question. Okay. Now, what do we do with this question? The angle between north and A is 040 degrees. And for three-figure bearing, the bearing of any direction is the angle starting from north. And then your bearing must always go in what? In a clockwise direction. Clockwise means this. Goes like this and back. That's clockwise direction. And why is that called clockwise direction? Because of course, you know, your clock starts at 12, 1, 2, 3. So it keeps counting that way. Boom, 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 up to 6, 7, blah, 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 till it comes back here. That is why it's called clockwise direction. So always pay attention to that. We use clockwise direction in measuring angles in three-figure bearing. Understood? Okay. Because it is impossible for you to do what you can do in acute angle bearings. If you remember from acute angle bearings, it is possible for you to, let's say you have something like this. It is possible for you to measure an angle here, and that would be the bearing of that direction. It is possible for you to measure an angle here, and that would be the bearing of that direction. But it is not possible for three-figure bearing. For three-figure bearing, you always have to start from north. No matter how far away the direction is from the north, you start from the north. And you cannot use any shortcuts. You have to start from the north and move in a clockwise direction. So for this particular one, we started from north and we moved till we got where? to this place. You move from north, you get to the direction you are going towards. So between north and A, the line going towards A, between north and the line going towards A, that is the 040 degrees. And that is the bearing of a question like this. So which means the bearing of this question, A from B, that is we're starting from B, is what? It is simply 040 degrees. That is the bearing. Very easy. So we continue in the next video.